It's great to have you with us on the Randy Karraker Show on STL Sports Central, presented by DraftKings, where the crown is yours. Matthew Rocc, Randy Karraker. It is great to have you with us, and here we are on December 23rd, and Matthew, traffic is it's terrible.
Oh, it's bad out there?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's really
I wonder
bad
why.
out there. I don't know, but getting around St. Louis is not easy, so just hop on the old YouTube, hang with us, and go out a little bit later when the traffic is not as bad. We have some things to talk about today, including the Cardinals as they head towards 2026 still have work to do on their roster, most notably ridding themselves. Is that a fair assessment of what they need to do with Nolan Arenado?
It might come off a little harsh to some people, but I think it's fair, yes.
Yeah, and then moving on from Brendan Donovan, which they would desire to do simply because of the value that he possesses at the moment. Still multiple teams interested. Ken Rosenthal reporting that even the Red Sox are interested. Maybe a third trade between the Cardinals and the Red Sox this offseason. Of course, you've already got the Giants interested. You've got the Mariners interested. You had the Pirates interested before they received Brandon Lau from Tampa. But there are other teams out there that I'm sure are lurking and wanting the services of one Brendan Donovan.
Yeah, again, I still believe I believe it when they said that there's 15 plus teams that are coming after Brendan Donovan. We've gone over the reasons why. I understand why the Boston Red Sox would want him, but there's no way they do a third trade. Why not keep the discussions going and try to make any of these trades bigger?
Yeah, I don't think that the Red Sox, unless it's going to be a deal that includes like Marcelo Mayer, I don't think the Red Sox have what it would take at this point to come and get him. They aren't giving up Roman Anthony.
No.
Mayer can play second or third. He's not going to play shortstop here. He's probably not going to play second here, but he did play third base last year for Boston. But I just now think at this point, with all the prospects the Red Sox gave up last year when they made the move to get Garrett Crochet, and now they make the Gray and Contreras moves, I just wonder if they have enough prospects to satisfy the Cardinals. So it'd have to be a highly regarded, young, controllable major league player, and Mayer would be the one. And I would think, depending on what happens with Alex Bregman, and Boston won't do anything until Bregman reaches a deal, but I would be a little bit surprised if they would want Donovan and Bregman together.
Can I just do in a 23-year-old 6'6" pitcher with 6 more years of control?
It depends. Is he any good?
Well, are you okay with me basing that off of 3 major league starts in 7 games?
Not really.
Okay, well then Peyton Tolley's not your guy.
Okay.
He's
or Brendan Donovan?
He's the top. No. He's the number 2 prospect in the Red Sox system, and again, 6'6", 250-pound left-hander who's ready to go in major league pitching right now.
Joe McGrain was a 6'6", 250-pound left-hander.
Well, I'm just listening to the guy's stats. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, and Joe McGrain was awesome in the minors too. I mean, there's a lot of 6'6", 250. Well, one time Alan Watson was the Cardinals' top prospect. No, he wasn't 6'6" and 250, but I remember Ron Jacober buying 10,000 of his baseball cards because he thought he was going to be awesome. He didn't work out that well. So I would hope that with the interest that other teams reportedly are showing in a guy like Donovan, that the Cardinals could get a major league player back in return for him, whether that is or maybe 2, maybe get a middle to the top of the rotation starter and then a prospect. But I think the Cardinals need more. Now it looks like they're going to need more position players.
Yeah, and we were talking about that yesterday.
Close to the majors.
I mean, at this point, a Brendan Donovan trade for me, controllable pitching or a young outfield bat.
Yeah, that'd be nice to find a young.
It's pretty much one of those two at this point.
A right-handed outfield bat would be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be nicer.
Yeah, but I don't know that the Cardinals right now are going to do anything different than collect WAR. My guess would be that they'll look at the offers that other teams make and determine which one provides the best potential WAR for them over the next 5 years until that player isn't a Cardinal anymore. And they'll take that deal from whomever makes that offer.
Let's Turn 2 says, the next time the Cards trade with another team, is it going to be Boston or the Field? Which one are you predicting?
Field.
I think I'll take the field on this
Yeah.
one as well.
I'm really surprised that Jerry DiPoto hasn't made a deal with the Cardinals yet. He loves to make trades, and he knows that Chaim now. I think Chaim has made 3 more trades than everybody else in baseball this offseason, right? So, or no, twice as many. I don't think anybody else has made 2. So
I was gonna say my
he's
math
on his way to a third.
Yeah, my math was really confusing me there for a moment.
So if I could provide you gifts from Santa Chaim, here's what I would want you to get, because you've already gotten some stuff. But for Donovan, a power hitting position prospect and projectable starting pitcher. And for Arenado, just getting out from under the contract. I think that's the big thing. Oh, dear Santa Chaim. I think getting out from under the contract, the value that the Cardinals get, and I mentioned this at the deadline, Matthew, is that the value that they'll get for Arenado is that somebody will take that contract off their hands. Cardinals might have to give up something to get a team to take Arenado. But I think that we've reached a point now in the Cardinals' existence with the plan that they're in that you give up a lottery ticket. Like if you give up a single A player that you don't think a lot of, that somebody else might think a lot of, and make a deal like that.
Like Blake Aida?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, trade him to Boston with Blake Aida.
Pretty easy thing to shuffle right on over here.
Yeah.
As we are making the Christmas list, something we are getting here from a chat. Samuel Howe, aren't we sleeping on another free agent signing, starting pitcher?
No.
You don't think we're going to see that? Yeah, I think we probably saw that in Justin May. We might see. I wouldn't be shocked if we see one more, but I wonder if it'll be kind of like the move they made yesterday when they signed the guy.
Schuster.
Yeah, Schuster, who's just kind of a, he might make the team. He could be a swing man, but he's more of a let's cover bodies. We talked about it yesterday, how many different starting pitchers they may need.
I think what the free agency probably holds is, as it has been described to me, an adult down in the bullpen, like when the Cardinals got Kittredge 2 years ago or
That makes sense.
last year. Such a young bullpen now, and they're going to have somebody down there that can kind of teach the young pitchers the ropes of being a major league relief pitcher. And it's not as simple as just warming up, going in and getting the ball. You remember the story about Izzy explaining to Adam Wainwright, hey, just go out and breathe. And that's something that Adam Wainwright took with him throughout the course of his career. And I think that's one thing the Cardinals need to find, is that guy that'll sit down there, work with the young pitchers, not necessarily from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, and say, okay, this is how you do it. Because when you look right now at the potential guys, this isn't the bullpen, but these are the guys that are potentials to be in the Cardinal bullpen. Ryan Fernandez, young. Gordon Graceffo, young. Andre Granillo, young. Tink Hentz, young. Zach Kent, young. Then Riley O'Brien, he's 30, but he's a young major leaguer. Andre Palante, young. Matt Pushard, young. Nick Rocc is also young. And then presumably they're going to trade Romero, and then it's Roycroft and Swanson. So you've got a really young group down there without an awful lot of experience. So I think getting that pitcher will come in handy for the Cardinals, not necessarily for 2026, but for the future, so that these guys have a sage veteran explaining to them how to warm up, how to approach the day of a game, how to deal with the situation when you don't have your best stuff down in the bullpen. All those things that happen all the time, but maybe it starts to speed up a little bit for a new major leaguer, and that guy can help slow things down a little bit.
Yeah, prior to last season, just for anybody about the Riley O'Brien comment, prior to last season, Riley O'Brien had pitched 10 and 1/3 innings in Major League Baseball as a 29-year-old.
Yeah. Right.
So the 40 innings last year certainly doesn't make him a veteran in any way, shape, or form. Skyboy in the chat, Chaim said last night, possibly a pitcher or position player. Honestly, either of them wouldn't shock me. I was bummed. It happened late last night. It was confirmed earlier today. My pick for the Cardinals outfielder for free agency was snapped up by who? Those damn Mariners. They signed Rob Refsnyder yesterday. That's why I really wanted, because he mashes left-handed pitching. My choice now, Randy Karraker,
Mhm.
if we're talking about our list for Santaheim, Austin Hayes.
Apparently, the Mets are very interested in him.
Son of a.
The
Get
Mets
in on it.
Well, they're trying to win.
Damn it. There's not a lot of right-handed outfield hitting.
There is not.
And so, like, a lot of the big names, lefties. And so there's not a lot of right-handed hitting. So if Chaim has mentioned right-handed outfielders, get on the horse, buddy. Like, that's going to have to be something that's like a very early in 2026 kind of deal. Because once Hayes gets snapped up, I mean, legitimately guys who can play both corners and hit right-handed comes down to like 2 or 3 people, and all those guys. And
Harrison Bader hasn't signed yet, has he?
Yeah. I was talking about a corner outfielder with the underlying current being that they're more than a slapstick hitter.
Okay.
So yes, he is, but he does fall outside of the parameters that I'm drawing here.
You could, and I know this doesn't fit what the Cardinals are doing right now, but if you wanted to trade for Nick Castellanos, you could.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening.
I don't either, but I don't see them spending money to sign a free agent right-handed hitter of any impact anyway. Now, they could sign a free agent right-handed hitter, but I don't see the Cardinals. 2 things happening. I don't see the Cardinals signing that guy for a very big contract.
Ref Snyder got signed for one year and $7 million.
Going somewhere to win.
Going somewhere to win, true. But
Right.
I mean, how much are these guys who are all OPS is around 98 really gonna? How much can they really command right now?
Right. OPS plus.
OPS plus,
yeah. Lower than average. I just think that if there is a tie, that a team that is not rebuilding, where you don't have to be on the bench for a rebuilding team, probably does win. And that's fine. I think the Cardinals have bigger fish to fry than finding a guy that's going to get 200 at bats playing in the outfield.
Well, it could be. I mean, it's 200 at bats if everyone's healthy and everyone hits. Like, it's only 200 bats if Jordan Walker hits and Lars Nootbaar stays healthy the entire season. And so, I mean, there's a very good chance that the 4th outfielder, quote unquote, for the Cardinals, or the next up corner outfielder, has 400 at bats this year, maybe even 500 if Jordan Walker, isn't hitting and Lars Nootbaar isn't healthy.
And if those guys, if it doesn't work for those guys, then I would, if I were building a team for the future, I would want a player that got reps with an opportunity to improve during the season rather than go with a 32-year-old guy.
So do you think Chaim's kind of just throwing out Rocco's taking Samuel House's Rocco's taking at bats away from Sajacy? No. They're the ones who aren't playing him in left field, not me. Sorry. I'm not taking any bats away from Sajacy. I'm talking about left fielders, and apparently he's not going to play left field, so I'm not taking any at bats away from him. But Chaim's mentioned a right-handed outfielder,
right? So
you just don't think you just think it'll be a scrap heap kind of level player,
dumpster dive, or maybe you go out and find that minor league free agent that hasn't gotten the opportunity or has been injured. Remember when the Cardinals signed Ryan Ludwig as a minor league free agent, and he wound up having one of the best right-handed hitting seasons of any left-handed thrower in the history of the game? He was dynamic. He was an all-star. Ryan Ludwig was. So those are the kind of players you have to find. Maybe you get a guy that has tried to resuscitate himself overseas. But I think that other teams are going to spend more for a right-handed hitting outfielder because there's need. I mean, Philadelphia, big money team. Last year they went out and they acquired Harrison Bader down the stretch because they needed a right-handed hitting outfielder, right?
It's true.
And teams galore are always looking for those guys. The Giants have gone overseas. It's hard to find them. And so I just think that that's a pretty valuable commodity that the Cardinals are not going to necessarily need to be in the market for right now.
Let's turn to what is Pozo's role? Seems like a steep price of a roster spot for an emergency catcher / pinch hitter.
He is, or last year was one of the top 5 pinch hitters in the National League. So he's a good guy to have on your team.
Did he until August? He went like 0 and 6.
But it is a 6-month season.
I know. But I'm saying he really struggled at that point.
if you're going to judge a player on like 25 at bats, you're really rushing it.
It's a pinch hit. It's a pinch hitter.
Yeah.
So we're judging him by 25
but you're
at bats
judging
either
him.
way.
Are you going to judge any player at all on a 2-month window?
No, I'm not. I'm just pointing.
Okay.
I'm just pointing out that he
So
hit a wall as a
if
pinch
we're going to
hitter.
get rid of everybody that has a bad
I'm
2 months.
not saying get rid of him. I was just pointing it out as an addendum to he had a really good year as a pinch hitter, and then he hit a wall at the end of the year, and didn't have a lot of at bats.
The rest of the team.
So the rest of the team. So it's a very good point. Craig Lewis, and this is kind of what has spurred a lot of my thoughts on the Cardinals. The fourth outfielder is going to be Fermin. There was a moment in the live show that we did after the Wilson Contreras trade where Brendan Schaefer kind of, I think, blacked out, but went on a very honest take about how much Fermin the Cardinals fans might see next year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was kind of what shook my system into the topic yesterday about how, what are the chances they keep Lars Nootbaar? And now my thought process of, do they add another quality out, or at least a potentially quality outfielder, to avoid the exact issues that Schaefer and now Craig Lewis are going to, which is we're going to see a lot of Fermin next year.
How do I put this?
Oh no,
gently.
Is it gently for me? The fans are Fermin.
Well,
who are you trying to soften the blow for?
Oh, it's for me.
Oh, okay.
So I think that Fermin, I'll put it this way. I think Fermin was more of a Mozeliak guy than a Ali Marmol guy.
What makes you say that?
Just conversations.
Is the fact that every time Fermin got called up, he never saw the field?
That conversations too.
Okay.
I mean, observations and conversations. So
I'm not okay. I got to shut this down right now. I'm not playing this little game again with people. Sorry, Samuel Howe. He says Nathan Church might improve this offseason. Listen, guys, I did it. We spent all of the spring, rah Matt Koperniak.
Rah, Matt Koperniak.
And then we did the thing with you guys after he obviously wasn't gonna punch through, where you guys talked to me about Nathan Church every day in the chat for like 2.5 months, and they brought him up. And again, it was only 60 at bats, but it was a 504 OPS. And now he's 25. I'm just saying. I just Nathan Church might improve this offseason, but much better chance that Gorman and Walker do, and we're not even talking about this and that. We're not even having to get into that depth of the conversation.
But Nathan Church would be a guy that fits as a fourth outfielder, right?
You would, yeah.
The expectations are not great now. By the way,
in the vein of a fourth outfielder who could step in if Nootbaar's out for a chunk or if Walker doesn't develop.
Well, and timing is such a big part of this,
Yeah.
because if you're 2 months in and Baez is performing, then you might look at him. If Chase Davis turns it on, you might look at him 2 months. But there's going to be a big difference between opening day and June 1st with this ball club, because guys are going to get not only runway at the major league level, but they're going to get their opportunities to be seen at the minor league level too.
Yeah.
And there will be players that pop open, pop available. And, you're not going to wind up with all-stars, but guys that can fill a role for you. I mean, look at last year's team. And not that it was good, but how many guys did the Cardinals go through and give opportunities to? Now, do we all feel for Matt Koperniak because we thought that he was going to hit 330 for the 2025 Cardinals? Yeah, we're bothered by that. I think we should be, don't you? But that being said, when you look at the guys that got opportunity, maybe they were limited opportunities up here with the big club last year, but you gave opportunities last year to people like Lucan Baker, people like Jose Barrero, people like Garrett Hampson. Ciani was here. Ryan Valade was here. Prieto got a chance. I mean, you had a bunch of guys that got opportunities, and most of them were DFA'd. So I would think that there will be other opportunities for guys that you've never heard of and didn't even realize were at Memphis that get called up.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen a lot. We'll see a much more active Memphis shuttle this offseason. Eric Letford, why is everybody forgetting about Nathan Church? Trust me, I haven't forgotten. 700 OPS at AA. Mm-hmm. And then last year he comes out and he's hitting 900 OPS at AAA. And that's the growth from his 23 to age 24 season. Then he gets bumped up to the majors and he has the season he has. I'm sure he's a solid defender. I think probably if you play it out, maybe some of the bat to ball numbers are going to be fine for him. But like you said, he's a very good, he's a potentially very good fourth outfielder.
He was never a guy that, whether it was in the experts getting run as a top 30 prospect, and that the experts being MLB Pipeline and Baseball America, you didn't see him there as a top 20 guy. And when you would talk to Cardinal personnel, they would be fired up about people like Mason Wynn. They're fired up about Weatherholt. They really were excited about Nathan Walker. You heard Mo talk about that. I never heard people bring up Nathan Church in those sorts of descriptions where you say, man, wait till you see this guy. All those other guys, it was a wait till you see this guy. But I never heard that about Nathan Church. Now, to be fair,
again, he might make he something clicked clearly between his age 23 and 24 seasons and going up from AA to AAA. My issue with that is always, we see how certain pitchers get held back in AAA or AA and never get allowed to pitch in AAA.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an argument in a lot of ways that the pitching is a lot better at AA than it is at AAA. And so when I see the huge OPS jump, that's why it sends some alarm bells around me. But at the same time, we talk about a lot of young players, and a guy going from 23 to 24, that could be the time where he finds his niche. Samuel House says now he's seen MLB pitching. He has an entire offseason to then work on it. Maybe this is the time where he makes the jump.
I just don't, and I have not seen a lot of Nathan Church, but I don't think the Cardinals look at his skill set, his ability, and to say, okay, all he has to do is put it together and he's going to be really good. The tools that Jordan Walker has, the exit velocity, the power, the potential power that he has, the athleticism that he has, it's eye-popping. The speed that Victor Scott II has and the defensive ability, it's eye-popping. And he's got a wow factor. Weatherholt, Wynn have those wow factors. Even Nolan Gorman has shown with his power something to really be intrigued by for a major league team, a major league manager. And that's the thing. I just have never, and that tool might be there for Nathan Church, but I just have never heard him described as a guy, well, he's got this tool, and that's what's going to keep him at the major league level.
Bob Rudden says, after trading Contreras, they may back off trading Donnie and have him play a little left field. Also, he'll be around until Bernal gets called up. I don't think they want to move him around positions anymore, and I think that's one thing. I don't think he wants to move around positions anymore because it doesn't increase his value. So why would it, and it doesn't help his hitting, and actually can hurt his hitting at times. So why would he want to do that?
And I think there's going to be a narrow window to maximize Brendan Donovan's value. And so I really think now is the time when you have reportedly 15 teams interested, strike while the iron is hot and provide an opportunity for other teams to give you the best offer possible. And then because right now, well, his value, Donovan's value is high. Nootbaar coming off of the injury, his value isn't as high. So if you feel like you have another outfielder on the horizon, and I don't think they feel like that way except for Baez right now, but you get Lars Nootbaar healthy, and then that's the guy that you move at the deadline. But if you're going to move Nootbaar, there's a lot of things at play here. So to trade Nootbaar at the deadline, you'd have to have somebody ready to replace him like Baez. But in my opinion, you'd also have to have a player like Scott and or Walker emerge. You want to have three good outfielders. And if Nootbaar is good, sure, you want to trade him, but you better have somebody to replace him too. And if he is one of three outfielders and he's the only good one, and you trade him, and you even if Baez is ready, you still have one good outfielder, right? If Walker and Scott don't advance, you still only have one good outfielder. And I think the goal is to have three good outfielders.
Some interesting takes here. Where did this one go? Damn it. There was somebody who was saying, Doug Dewey says, can you guys please keep the mics near your mouths, please? I think I'm doing a pretty good job of that, Randy. Might be a little far away.
Why?
Bring that a little bit.
You want me to?
Bring the.
I've never used these.
Use the arm.
before.
Bring it in a little bit closer.
Okay, here we can we.
Don't do that.
Can
No.
you
Don't
hear me
eat
now?
the damn thing.
Can you hear me now?
No, Randy. Eric Ledford.
That's a pen.
Eric Ledford. Would the Cardinals have any interest in Miguel Andujar?
Andujar.
Oh, there's a name I haven't even thought about. Probably for good reason.
Yeah, I don't. I think Sajasi probably has that role. Andujar would, at best, be a reserve infielder here. I don't think that they would give him at bats over a guy like Gorman, and I have to think that Sajasi would get the opportunity as the extra second baseman, shortstop. Well, Andujar isn't a shortstop, but second baseman, third baseman. I would think that Sajasi would be that guy.
Andor's got a little time in the outfield too, and I wonder if that was why Eric brought him up
be.
as well. Is not there's no consistency
He
in
did
the
have
power.
a nice
but
second half of the season last year when he came up. I just don't. Again, it just doesn't fit what the Cardinals are trying to accomplish right now. He's in his 30s, right?
Yes, he is. He's older. But he would be cheap, I think. Samuel Howe. But remember, moving Nado is job number one. Okay, this is something I wanted to get into really quickly, which is yesterday we talked about just like the numbers of things. And to your point, probably can't trade Lars Nootbaar.
Mm-hmm.
But
you can trade him for pennies on the dollar.
Yes. But also that it does kind of stretch out the roster a little bit if you trade Lars Nootbaar right now.
And by the way, Andujar will be 31 on opening day.
Okay, no, not as bad. But I do. So my question to you though is, if for some reason the Cardinals just realize, this whole trading Arenado thing just isn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If that happens, and they're stuck with Arenado, do you then think they would say, okay, now let's maybe push a Lars Nootbaar trade. Now that one of the assets that we can't move is going to kind of hold things up a little bit. Let's open up a roster spot. Let's move some things around. Let's get Herrera in left field. Let's get Gorman DH at bats. And that way we make a move with Lars Nootbaar.
My guess is that they would rather trade a healthy Gorman.
Oh, interesting.
Hit 27 homers at the major league level. If Arenado's going to be playing third for you, right? Because if you move Arenado, the beneficiary playing time wise is Nolan Gorman. And if you have Arenado, Gorman's not going to get that opportunity. And you're probably going to have Arenado through 27. If you desire to keep him in 26, maybe you buy him out for 27. I don't know. But the logical connection that I would make is third baseman. And if you have Arenado, Ollie's going to be beholden to playing him at the salary that he commands. And you don't want, and Bernie and I talked about this, I think last week, if you become an STL Sports insider, you can hear Bernie and I talk about this. But with Nolan Arenado, you could have a real problem in the clubhouse if you have that veteran and you don't play him. So my guess would be that if you can't move Arenado, the first guy they would try to move would be Nolan Gorman.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that when I was trying to. I hadn't even considered trading Nolan Gorman. I thought they would give him a shot no matter what. But to your point, the reason I threw that out there is only because when we put together the roster potential yesterday, we kind of agreed out of the gate that yes, you're going to want to play Herrera at catcher because he wants to, but a lot of right now with the build, a lot of Herrera at bats are going to come at the DH spot. And we had Gorman at third base. And so I was at that. So you saw how I formulated it, but to your point, just going third base for third base. And should Arenado stay, you move Gorman. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
And if I am going to move Herrera out from behind home plate, I give him a full opportunity. It's just not happening. Okay, Ivan, you're not playing catcher. I would be much more inclined to move him to first base, have him work with Jose Oquendo, and then move Burleson back to left. And that would open up your opportunity to trade a guy like Nootbaar.
I keep seeing fans say, and this seems like such a fan thing, but maybe I'm just like ignorant. Every time somebody mentions it, they go, you can't play somebody under 6 feet at first base.
Greg Jeffries hit 348 with like 50 stolen bases for the Cardinals in 1993. And he was, let's see how tall. Greg, I stood next to him. I guarantee you he wasn't 6 feet. He was an all-star, though.
I think it might be more defensively for the stretch.
Yeah, well, that's why you have infielders that can throw.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, Mason Wynn kind of does cut down on the ability for your first baseman to have a crazy stretch,
Yeah.
doesn't he? The ball gets there a little bit faster.
Jeffries was listed at 5'11", probably more like 5'9". All-star in 1993 and 1994. In his 2 years with the Cardinals, he had 342 and 325, OPSs of 894 and 880. Stole a bunch of bases. Let's see, he stole 46, hit 342 with an 894 OPS and 46 stolen bases in 1993.
Jeez, okay.
In the old ballpark, 16 homers, 83 RBIs, and he was fine.
It's the most fan thing in the world. That people were throwing that out there. It's like, you can't play Herrera at first base. It's like, yes, you can play anybody wherever you damn well please.
I don't think standing next to Pedro Guerrero, I think
He's a compact fellow.
yeah. You're trying to. He's listed 5'11".
There we go.
And Pete is also listed at 176 pounds, and he was not. He was way heavier than 176 pounds. But Pete was not a great first baseman, but he handled the job over there. And again, he had Pendleton at third, good thrower.
I knew you'd have a good
Ozzie.
answer. I knew you'd have a good answer for that.
Yeah.
Timo Rentswartz says, why wouldn't you take a big target and a natural corner infielder in Walker and put him at first base instead of being a sore thumb in right field?
I don't think he is a sore thumb in right field anymore. I think that he's become, through his athleticism and his work with Yanye, I think he's become an average outfielder on his way to becoming above average. I don't think the Cardinals want to waste that arm. He's got a really good arm from right field. And we saw it in the second half last year. He became, game by game, day by day, a better defensive outfielder. And I think because of his athleticism, the Cardinals, I know he's a massive target at first. And I thought that at the beginning of last year. Okay, great guy to have at first base. But I believe now he has become a more than representative right fielder who's only getting better. I think the Cardinals, they saw the comps between he and Jason Hayward, who'd played outfield his entire life and was a Gold Glove quality guy by the time he arrived at the major league level. And Jordan Walker had never played the outfield. And so he's basically in his 23, 24, 25, he'll be heading into his fourth full year of playing the outfield. A lot of guys don't have trouble adjusting. Greg Biggio moved from behind home plate to the outfield. Dale Murphy moved out there. I don't think the Cardinals, and Chaim made this point at the winter meetings about the Cardinals really didn't do Herrera any favors in regards to becoming a major league catcher. They didn't do Walker any favors either in regards to becoming a good major league outfielder.
Yeah, that makes sense. We got one last comment here. Joseph Polasher says, well, Rooker from the A's is a perfect fit. I like to call Trent Rooker an ESPN documentary. You know why?
Why?
He's 30 for 30. He's a perfect fit on all 30 baseball teams in Major League Baseball. Yeah. Of course, he's a perfect fit. He's a great baseball player. Every team would want him.
He just signed an extension, 5 years, $60 million in January of last year. And he's got a club option for a 6th year. So he's a bargain. He's a great player, as Matthew mentioned. And they want him to be the face of the franchise as they go to Vegas.
It's just like,
and Kurtz, by the way, will be that guy too.
And just every team, if the A's were trying to trade Brent Rooker right now, the Cardinals would not be able to give the best package. Nor would the Cardinals be able to. Nor would the Cardinals actually be picking up the phone and offering the best package for him. There would be 20 to 25 teams in baseball offering better packages than the Cardinals.
And it used to be back in the day. I don't know how or why it worked, but it did. So like the Cardinals could call up the Athletics and say, Walt Jocketty, hey, I want Todd Sotomayor. Can I have him? Yeah, sure, no problem. Hey, I want Dennis Eckersley. Can I have him? Yeah, sure, no problem. Hey, Mo. Hey, we want Matt Holliday. Can we get him from you? Yeah, sure, no problem. It used to happen all the time. Hey, can we get player X from you? And the A's just said yes. Well, that just doesn't happen anymore, unfortunately.
No.
Revenue sharing is a big. Oh, hey, we want Mark McGwire. Can we have Mark McGwire from you? Yeah, sure.
No,
just send us.
It's good for baseball that there's not a poverty franchise like that.
Yeah,
it's good for baseball.
I agree. You know what else is good for baseball and football too?
Damn right.
Having DraftKings available to you here in the state of Missouri with the college football playoff, Saturday NFL action, Sunday NFL action, holiday NFL action. All you need to do is grab your phone, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and make every game even more exciting with same game parlays and money lines and props and more, all from your phone, and all safe and secure and easy to use. And right now, if you're a new Missouri customer, you can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. There is no waiting. There is no nonsense. Just pure action, powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use code STL Sports. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code STL Sports. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
A little DraftKings story from yesterday. They do these little games sometimes where if you, and like at Monday Night Football, it's always, if you pick a touchdown score, and if your guy scores the longest touchdown of the game, you and whoever picked that player within this little sweepstakes get a share of $2 million. They do it with basketball. They have one tonight called King of the Court. Last night was King of the End Zone. Tonight's King of the Court, where you pick players' assist rebounds totals for a player. And if that player is one of the 3 highest players in points, assist, rebounds tonight, you get, if it's one of the 3 players that you pick, you get a share of $1 million.
Wow.
I picked the 49ers defense last night before the game. So I got first of all, I had to bet $5. It turned it into like $35. Nice little hit there. But then I got my chunk of the $2 million. And the thing is, you don't know how many people bet it.
Right.
But because it was Phillip Rivers, why I bet it, a lot of people bet it. 11,000 people were on it. But that means I won $173 in bonus bets from DraftKings, in addition to the actual money I won on the original bet. This is the kind of fun that DraftKings is having for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm watching the game. I'm a little bummed out because I had a big parlay that just needed 50 receiving yards from Christian McCaffrey to hit. So a mark that he has hit the last like 8 weeks straight and like 13 out of the first 15 weeks of the season. He finished with 29.
Oh, man.
So I'm really mad. The 49ers throw a pick. And I'm like, well, there's the last chance I have. I'm down in the dumps. I'm thinking, well, that's it. My night's kind of a wash. And then after that 49ers pick, Phillip Rivers delivers me $173 in bonus bets. And we're up on the night. We're going to try to hit big on the bonus bets, but that's kind of fun you can have with DraftKings. Just want to share everybody my little story last night of the King of the End Zone.
Thrill Fan 22 STL. Guys, you need to get rid of the mics. Either way, too loud or can't hear anything. If you agree with Thrill Fan, maybe it's your speakers, Thrill Fan.
I think you were just a little far away for the first half of the show.
Oh,
they're not. I mean, they're solid mics. We got to stay on them. But if we're really far away, they don't pick up a lot, and it kind of fluctuates a little bit. That's a little bit on us. Joseph Polasher says, "Nice win. What are you buying me?" I have to realize the bonus bets. That's the thing about the bonus bets. You got to realize them. But if I do win big, I will not be buying you anything. The person out there who knows that I'm buying stuff for them knows.
Rock's loud. Randy is quiet.
He was a little off the mic.
Sorry.
It happens.
Sorry about that.
I'll talk quieter. But I'm right on top of this mic,
Okay.
and it's going nowhere. I'm staying. I mean, if I move, it's going with me. See that? Look at that. I mean, right there. No changes. Chase Davis to driveline next winter.
Oh, I don't know why he wouldn't be there this year. Or what's the other thing called? Cressy?
Yeah, Cressy.
Where Mason Wynn is?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that that'd be smart on the part of the Cardinals too. Get Chase Davis there. Evidently, Chase Davis's problem though isn't the quality of the swing. It's not the physical. It's more the mental with Chase Davis. He needs to come to grips with the fact that he's a good hitter, because I think sometimes he's down on himself and isn't as confident maybe as he should be in his abilities. And I think if the Cardinals could get him to be more confident, I think they could have something on their hands, something good on their hands.
We had somebody earlier who was asking us if we color coordinated our outfit today based on last night's abomination of a basketball game. That was Let's Turn To. Did you guys color coordinate today's wardrobe in honor of last night's laugher of a basketball game? Randy's wearing orange, not Illini gear necessarily. I'm wearing black. And if this was a reenactment of last night, Randy would be dunking all over me by 43 points.
Exactly right. That was not pretty
God
for the
bless
University
America.
of Missouri. What does Dennis Gates do after his team scored only 48 points?
Call the recruits and make sure they're not moving.
Yeah.
Because that's where the hope lies
Hey,
right
you
now in
guys
the
are-
program.
Yeah. If you watch the game, just know that you are playing next year. You're going to start the opener.
Listen, it's last night was bad because the defense didn't show up.
Mhm.
They were getting everything blocked by Ivicic. Illini's a very good team.
Mhm.
I should have hammered the living daylights out of whatever the line was, but it was never juicy enough for me to really take it. I was hoping Mizzou would have like a weird run in the first half and the lines would kind of shift down, and then I could bet the bankroll on Illinois to cream them the rest of the game, which is exactly what happened, but I never jumped on it because it's just clearly that Illinois is a better team right now. Missouri, if they can grind out games against you defensively and beat you in transition, they have the athletes to do it, but they don't have the half-court offense right now if you slow them down. And if they have a bad night like that defensively, it's curtains. They're losing that game.
All right. You might be wondering, and there's a piece today at The Athletic about the distinct possibility of FanDuel Sports going out of business. And it could happen. The name of the company now is Main Street Sports, and they own multiple RSNs, regional sports networks that air baseball games, hockey games, and NHL games. 13 in the NBA, 9 in Major League Baseball, and 7 in the NHL. And you're wondering, okay, if they go out of business, what am I going to watch this year? How do I get to watch Cardinal baseball? And here's the way it's going to work. If there is no such thing as Main Street Sports, and we have friends that work there, and we hope that they're able to maintain their jobs. First of all, we want Main Street Sports to be there, but those people will still have jobs. The difference is Chip and Brad would show up on a different channel. If you have Spectrum, right now Spectrum is 824 on or channel 37, one of those two on Spectrum. MLB has already bought channel space. You know those empty channels you go to? MLB owns some of those in each market that they're in danger of losing RSNs in. So, for example, if you go to Arizona at this time of year, you go to one of the channels and it just says Diamondbacks baseball. It's dormant right now, but during the summer, it shows a Diamondbacks game and shows a replay. Same thing with Texas. Same thing with, I think, Seattle. The Padres, multiple teams have lost what used to be Fox Sports, then was Bally, and now is FanDuel. And the teams aren't getting money because the check isn't coming in. And if you weren't aware of it, Main Street Sports neglected to provide a check for rights fees to the Cardinals in December. And that's why we're having this conversation right now. Are you happy that Main Street Sports did not?
I was throwing the cash.
Oh, okay. Good. So anyway, you don't have to worry about the Cardinals not being on television, and they will be on a streaming app again if you so desire. But it's amazing to me that what should be smart people make these economic decisions that have no chance of succeeding. This all happened because Sinclair Broadcasting, you know how smart they are, they bought the RSNs from Fox for billions of dollars. They didn't have the billions of dollars, so they went into tremendous debt. They couldn't pay their debt service, so they went into bankruptcy for 20 months, came out of bankruptcy, and they still can't afford to pay the bills. And they're in negotiations now with DAZN to see if DAZN will try to buy FanDuel Sports and run it like it should be run.
What would have happened if Sinclair hadn't come in, you think? Would Fox have dropped everything?
Well, remember, ESPN originally wanted to buy it. And they, because of ESPN's overarching power in the industry, the government said they couldn't because they thought it would be a monopoly. I don't know what plan B was if Sinclair didn't buy.
But now I guess the plan B is, to your point, is baseball just taking over these regional broadcasts and eventually getting to the thing that Greg Amsinger talked to us about a few years ago on the radio show, which is getting to a point where Major League Baseball is kind of being run like for the broadcasting side, kind of like how the NFL is, where it's all under an umbrella. There's a main, pregame show, and it's always hitting back to the studio throughout the day. So on and so forth. It's
not a coincidence if you watch MLB Network early in the afternoon, the show that Greg Amsinger does now, that show is called America's Pregame Show. And from what I'm given to understand, the way it'll work is Greg and Harold and Dan Plesac will do a pregame show. And let's just use the Cardinals as an example for a 7:15 game. So Greg throws it out to the ballpark at 7:00 or throws it to the pregame show at 7:00. The pregame show may emanate from New Jersey, where MLB Network is located. And then right at 7:15, Chip and Brad are there for the first pitch. And maybe they get it at 10 after rather than 15 after, so they can do their little setup from the ballpark. And then after the game is over, another brief pregame show done by St. Louis people. And that leads into America's post-game show on MLB Network. That is the hope of Rob Manfred. And financially, his hope is that he can convince everybody to have a more meaningful revenue share than exists right now. I think teams that pay into revenue sharing pay something like 30. So you pool up all of your money and you give 37% of it to revenue sharing. And then that is split up and given to the payees of revenue sharing. And then you get to keep the other 63%. Right?
Yep. Yeah. And we'll be following this. You can read a really good piece right now on all this by Evan Drellich on The Athletic.
Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with DAZN, by the way?
I'm not familiar with DAZN.
They have a lot of money and they're international. And if they would buy Main Street Sports, that would be really interesting. And by the way, this point also in the Evan Drellich article, if Main Street closes, ESPN would wind up carrying additional MLB teams on top of the 6 it already has. That's according to a person briefed on the league's decisions. So,
Randy, I got to beef with a little bit of a different league right now.
Okay.
Because you saw today, I mean, honestly, I can't imagine a worse piece of news for Missouri professional football than what happened this morning. St. Louis Battlehawks losing doesn't feel like the right word for what happened with Anthony Beck. Mm-hmm. He has been transferred by the league from the St. Louis Battlehawks to the new Orlando Storm, I believe is what their name going to be.
Yep.
Listen, I understand they're trying new things. They're trying to figure things out, but nothing makes a league feel more fake than moving a coach from one team to another because it's the league's decision and they want it so that they can help build the other new team and then the other team, which is kind of a flagship of your league, has to go out and find a new coach, potentially one tied to a very bad era in St. Louis football already. I get the move overall, but I don't like it.
The team doesn't look for the coach. The league looks for the coach. And maybe they have something up their sleeve to hire somebody, maybe Isaac Bruce or something like that.
No, you didn't see what's happening?
No.
The name is being thrown out, a former coach of a St. Louis professional franchise from not a very good era.
Oh.
Not a head coach. Former coordinator in St. Louis for the Rams.
Brian Schottenheimer?
Jim Haslett.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, was he
Now, he's
I never
fun.
got to talk to him as a media member. He obviously was gone by like 09, 10 or so. I was still in college.
Did a great job with the Saints.
Okay, yes he did.
When they were battling the Rams for the NFC West back in the day. Hasl's problem was the front office.
Okay.
So when Haslett was the interim coach in 08, his selling point, and he had it done, he was going to bring in Mike Martz to be his offensive coordinator and Dom Capers to be his defensive coordinator.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He had his staff set
that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little bit more in on this now.
Yeah. So if he can get that kind of a staff together, super aggressive coach, he'd be fun.
I guess it's just AstroTurf moments like this kind of bother me just because like it's the same thing with the MLS and the fact that the league helps pay Lionel Messi's contract and therefore Inter Miami's winning championships. And it's like, okay, but what happened to the competitive factor?
Right.
So it feels it feels just a little AstroTurf to have a league be like, we're just going to move your head coach for the betterment of the league.
That's ridiculous.
It feels ridiculous. It might be, and again, it might be better for the league. And at this point, the UFL has to make decisions that are only better for the league. But there was also something I thought was interesting, which is that Dwight Feeney, the defensive end linebacker for the Battlehawks, was tweeting out today that they apparently, this is the UFL, wants to move the Battlehawks after this next season from the Dome to Energizer Park because they don't like how empty the dome looks. And so Feeney was saying, if you guys want to stay in the Battle Dome, you got to put $30K in this next season every game, or else the league is going to try to move us to the soccer stadium, which I think is insane.
If any Battlehawks fan ticket holders are checking in, I believe they aren't selling anything above the lower bowl this year. I think only lower bowl tickets are being sold for the Dome, but it's probably a little bit more expensive. But now with the new schedule for MLS, I can't imagine that. Right, I can't imagine that that's going to work very well with the soccer team playing there.
Well, they play their schedule's already overlapped with the current schedule.
Yeah.
There's been one or two times where there's been a Battlehawks game going on while the soccer game's being played.
And if I'm, all due respect to the Battlehawks, if I'm City SC, I don't want the Battlehawks tearing up my turf.
Yeah, that's the thing is I really don't know who in the UFL thinks that's a viable thing, because I think City's going to say absolutely not.
Because I think aren't the
City
other
doesn't
7
even
teams all in soccer stadiums?
Yes, but City refuses to even put concerts.
How about the soccer park? Put the Battlehawks out of the soccer park.
We can't go that low.
Okay.
We can't go that low, no. City doesn't even allow concerts actually in the stadium on the grass because they want to keep it pristine for soccer. So yeah, that's a really good point. I don't know why City would agree to that.
Yeah,
it would go completely against everything they've said about the turf, or the grass, I should say.
Yeah. Maybe Busch Stadium.
Sorry, I got a little throat thing. I'm running out of breath and having to drink a lot of water today.
Here's the thing, and I like the Battlehawks. I want the Battlehawks to succeed. That being said, I also got to be real. And I think a huge part of the initial success of the Battlehawks was a hatred for our Stan Kroenke that has diminished a little bit. People just aren't as active in their hatred. They aren't spending money to prove something. We already proved our point to Stan Kroenke. So I think you have that issue. And you have the issue of them raising ticket prices precipitously come playoff time, and especially championship game time. And that's one of the reasons that the crowds for the championship game, the playoff games were so low, because the ticket prices went up. And then the league has been a mess. It starts off as the XFL, and then the UFL, and then the UFL XFL divisions. They're on like their 4th or 5th iteration of this league since the pandemic year, since 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Doesn't it seem like they've had like multiple iterations of the league, and you never know what to expect?
Yeah.
Different people in charge. It was Oliver Luck at first, and then Moose Johnston, and then the Rocc, and he never showed up. Now you got this new owner who's doing everything. I think it's just going to be really hard for that league and the franchise here in St. Louis to succeed. I hope they succeed. We'll talk about them here. And if they have a coach like Hazlitt, we'll put them on. But I think it's going to be really hard for that organization, the UFL, to succeed.
Just like how I think it's crazy the MLS is putting a 5-week gap in the middle of their season.
Yeah.
That's so I've never seen.
No. It's
going to be wild to see how Americans react to that.
And I wonder why, and we kind of talked about this, during those 5 weeks, spend a couple of weeks where you play a full schedule, but play them only in warm weather or domed sites. Play 15. What do we have now? Do we have 30 teams or 32 in MLS?
I believe it's 30 now with the San Diego one joining.
Yeah, so play 15 games in warm weather sites. You've got 2 LAs. You've got Houston. You've got Dallas. You've got San Diego. You've got Miami. You've got Orlando.
Well, they are going to heavily weight those after they come out of the break, going into the break.
Well, here's the thing: during those weeks that you are off, because you are in America, at least make the sport accessible for a couple of those weeks.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Hopefully what they do.
Put games on TV.
Yeah. Hopefully they figure out something to do during those 5 weeks other than just make it. If they can find a way to make it, like the All-Star break, put it in the middle of the season. They have to do international breaks. That's one of the reasons why they're doing the schedule. So I haven't double checked to see exactly when the international breaks are relative to when those schedules start. Right off the top of my head, it just while we're talking about leagues that do weird stuff.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the traffic, Matthew.
I'm not looking forward to this at all.
Traffic is brutal in the St. Louis metro area today.
Is it bad on like the side streets or just the highways?
Well, it's like Olive and Manchester were both
crap.
really hassle for me to get here. Usually I get here an hour before the show. Today it took me an extra half hour to get here.
Yeah, Kirkwood looks bad. I'm not going to Lindbergh.
It is what it is.
All right.
All right.
If you're driving down Manchester, don't be an ass.
Don't run into him.
Yeah.
Great job as always, sir.
You do.
That's the one, the only Matthew Rocc. I'm Randy Karraker. Thanks for joining us here on STL Sports Central. We are presented by DraftKings, where the crown is yours, and you have a happy holidays if we don't see you until Christmas. If we do see you before Christmas, we can't wait. But until whenever you see us next, be good, and we'll see you next time.